Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Scraptember. Today's prompt was to use either cut files, die cuts, or punches, and I ended up using a cut file that I got from Creative Fabrica, and I'll put the link for that down below, as well as the two punches that you see in the upper right hand corner there of my screen to create this unicorn head and the flowers that go with it. And I have another picture of the little one that I take care of, and she is actually wearing a headband that has that same horn, along with the ears and some flowers up between the ears. So I thought this was like the perfect cut file to use for her, or for this layout, because it just kind of is like a mirror image of what she's got going on. She is dressed up in like an Ariel outfit, and wearing that headband was just really cute. So I thought I'd use this paper from Cocoa Vanilla. I want to say it's from the Happiness collection. I could be wrong on that. Not 100% sure, and I didn't actually take the time to look it up. And I don't have the branding strip any longer, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But I did feel like the paper was perfect because it's got all of the colors that she is wearing. Well, she's got some purple on it. It doesn't have so much purple, but it's got the pinks and the teals or blues, and I think it looks really good with the whole overall look of what she is dressed up as. I did use some thicker silver paper, foiled paper, to cut the unicorn horn from, and I didn't change the setting on my silhouette when I did it. I actually cut all of the pieces at the same time. I just kind of put them in different quadrants of the mat, and because the other papers were just regular thickness, I didn't change the cutting depth or pressure, and so I am having to go back in and manually cut them a little bit with my pen blade or my scissors, but it's not a big deal. The lines are really simple to cut, and because the paper is so thick, it does have like a groove that the pen blade just kind of follows along with nicely to finish scoring it so that it releases out of the paper without having to like rip it or anything. And then what I did was I decided to cut the framing for the horn there, and I am going to use it to align the pieces that I've already pulled out of it so that I get them lined up properly and they don't look kind of funky or cockeyed. Nobody wants a unicorn with a cockeyed horn, right? So I thought I would just use that piece that it came out of to go ahead and realign them. And then I've got these papers that are just from my scrap bin. One of them is the same paper I cut the ears out of. You can see on the right hand side there. And I am just punching some peach and pink, and then I'm going to add some turquoise papers that I had done some mixed media on, and I'm going to just go ahead and keep punching those to create a bunch of little flowers for the unicorn cut file, to have a bunch of flowers around its head. Now the cut file that I had from Creative Fabrica did have some flowers with it, but I wanted to use these punch flowers instead because they're smaller. I can add more of them, and they are going to give me a little bit more dimension on the page, because I'm going to use a mouse pad and a stylus, and I'm going to rub the stylus in the center of each of the flowers to kind of make them cup, so that adds a little bit more dimension to my page, and I really like the way that it ends up looking. So here's that turquoise piece that I had some mixed media already put on. I do want some that does not have the mixed media, so I just use my blending brush to ink up some of the white to put a little softer turquoise flowers in, and I really like the way that that ends up coming out as well. I am going to use my ink pad in I think this is Kitsch Flamingo, and I'm just going to ink up the edges of the flowers to give more depth and more interest to them. And it'll look especially nice when they are cupped with the stylus. And then I used, and I'm not sure if this is Mermaid Lagoon or if it is Peacock Feathers. I'm pretty sure it's Peacock Feathers. And I'm just inking up the edges of the turquoise ones, just again to add more depth and more interest to the layout. I apologize if my voice is a little raspy. I believe I have a sinus infection, so I'm kind of trying to work through that and still voice videos, so bear with me. I'm using that same piece of paper that the ears were cut out of, and I am backing her photograph with it. You can see the part where the ears were cut out, I'm still using that. You can't even tell when it's behind her photo. And I am adding some Kitsch Flamingo to that as well. I do add a little bit of Tattered Rose, I believe, to some of those more peach flowers. And you can see the Tattered Rose ink pad in the upper right hand corner partially off screen. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere these portions of the horn so that it will stay really well. You know, you probably could use your ATG gun, but that top one is a little bit narrow and small, so I just went ahead and used my liquid glue. It is really handy, and I find it to be like one of the most simple adhesives to use. So I'm liking the way that that is looking, and then I am adding some glue to the ears. Again, another difficult piece to add glue to right down all the way to the corners of the ears, or the little pieces that are the furthest to the bottom of the page, because they're so narrow. So again, this liquid glue works well. And before I put the eyelashes on, I'm going to add all of the flowers up around the horns and the ears, because I don't want to accidentally put the eyelashes too high up and then not be able to have room for those flowers. So I'm using my stylus here to go ahead and cup everything. I did not make you sit through watching me ink or cup every single flower, because it's a bit redundant, and we would be sitting here for quite some time, because it is time consuming as well. I'm liking the way that these are looking. I am going to layer up some of the flowers by putting different pieces inside some of the other ones, and I think that it looks really good that way. And I'm liking the way it's looking. I'm liking the addition of that darker turquoise or teal color, because it really matches what she's wearing really well. And then just trying to figure out the placement of it is always a little bit of a challenge when I don't want to cover up too much and I can't go too far down, because the eyes need to be kind of in proximity to the ears and the horn and not be too far down the page. So I'm just kind of figuring that out, and then I'm going to start gluing stuff as I go here to make sure I get the main ones where I want them, and then I'll fill in any areas with some smaller ones if needed. And this one I'm doing a little bit of tone on tone, so it has that really narrow leafed flower in the inside. You can see it well on the pink one, but in the peach one you can't see it as well, but in real life you can. So liking the way that that's looking, and this glue is going to hold it really well, so I'm not too worried about that. And it does give me a little bit of time to kind of move things around and play with them in case I need to adjust which color is next to a specific flower. I'm liking the way that that's coming out. And then at the end of the entire video, I am going to add sequins to the middle of a lot of these flowers. I was going to just do it in some of them, but I end up adding them to all of them, but in varying colors and sizes. So I try to just keep it tone on tone, so it's not like really in your face or anything. And then I'm just going to use my T-square ruler to align the eyes so they are the same height on the page, and I'm liking the way that that's looking. I found this extra piece of paper. Well, it was the piece of paper that I put some blue ink on, and I just inked up the edges of it, and I'm tucking it in on either side of the photograph, so it has just, it looks like another layer of paper underneath it. And I like how that's looking. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down and pull out my bin of pink ephemera. Oh, I'm going to first add some flowers to this lower corner here, but then I'll add some different pink ephemera that I have in my bin of pink items. I actually have three bins of pink, 2 light pink, 1 dark pink. And what happens is when I get to the end of like a sticker sheet or an ephemera pack, I divvy it out by color and I filter them into my color bins. And then when I know I need something in a specific color, I just go to that bin and it's right there. Easy to find stuff that will work for the layout that I'm working on. So I'm trying to find some pieces that I know I can write on, because I know I want to write a little bit of journaling about her and how much she enjoys playing dress-ups and her love of horses. And so I thought that would work really well. I'm going to use this piece that says "You Are Magic" as my title. And I really like that little unicorn chipboard piece. I've had that in my stash for quite a while, and I think this is like the perfect layout to use it on. So it is definitely going to make it onto this layout. I do know I need to add a little bit more of the turquoise or teal down in this bottom corner here, because I've got it in every other area and I don't want to just neglect it. So I will end up pulling out my bin of aqua things, and I actually have 2 bins of aqua, because in scrapbooking there's a lot of pink and aqua. So while I go ahead and do that, just wanted to remind you there are a bunch of people playing along with Scraptember. There's a playlist down below that you can go and check out, so that you can go and watch any of the videos that have been released so far and get a ton of inspiration. I am using my ATG to put these down at the bottom here, and I do want them slightly off the page. I'm going to trim them so that they aren't hanging down, but I like the way that they look going off the page. It looks like it's a little more finished than if I tried to put it like in the middle of the page or something. I'm going to tuck this piece in that says "My Favorite Thing About You." I'm going to tuck that in up at the top and add this bow to it. And that heart will make it onto the layout, but it's going to be down near that bottom right hand cluster of flowers. I ripped or cut this tag in half that has some aqua on it. The tag topper is going up at the top, and then the rest of it is going down here as a layer, and that brought in the necessary piece of turquoise to bring more of that color down to this cluster down here. And I'm really liking how that is ending up. I don't end up putting a bunch of flowers up in the upper right hand corner. It has the bow up there. I don't feel like it needs any flowers. I've got my 3 little clusters of flowers, and I'm pretty happy with the way that they come out. I'm also happy with the addition of that bow. I don't use bows very often, so that's a huge thing for me to say that I'm happy with the addition of that bow. And the fact that it's chipboard is even more interesting, because I really don't use a lot of that kind of stuff, chipboard bows on my layouts. But in this particular case, it worked. So I just trimmed off the pieces that were hanging down, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding my sequins now. I'm going to add some of this, I think it's bias tape. I'm not 100% sure, but it's like a silky ribbon. I'm going to stick that into the top of the tag here, and I'm just going to tie it in a knot one time. And it stays pretty well, so I don't really feel like I need to add any glue or tie it in a double knot or anything like that. And I like that it adds a little bit of that kind of peachy yellowy color up to the top, so that I have in the peach flowers everywhere else. So then I'm adding my sequins, and again I'm using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and a crystal katana to go ahead and help me place those. And I'm using sequins from varying sequin packs. Some of them are from Spiegelmom Scraps, and some of them are not. I either got them at, I actually think these orange and yellow ones are from Prima, but some of them I have gotten at expos years and years ago. Some of them are from Spiegelmom, and some I've gotten in swaps with people, so like table gifts at retreats and such. So, you know, sequins are a really great addition to any layout. They kind of just finish it off and add a little bit of extra sparkle. So that's kind of a fun thing to add to your layout if you've got the ability, or if you have some on hand and they match well. I say go use them. You know, and also you get so many in a pack, and you really don't have to add very much for a little bit of extra sparkle. So that's kind of cool. So I'm adding the white ones here, or the translucent ones. I'm not adding the pink ones in this particular pack. I'm liking the way that looks. And if you have questions on any of the products that I used, I will put those down below. I actually don't have links for a ton of products on this layout, because most of them are older items from my stash, but I definitely put the link for the unicorn. And if I can find the link for those punches, if they still make them, I will add those down there as well. Sometimes when the crystal katana gets isn't working, which is very rarely that it's not working, I end up using my tweezers. And what happened there was I had some sequins that were really cupped, and when I picked them up with the crystal katana, they actually got stuck to the end of it because they cupped so well around the wax that they kind of stuck into the wax. And so that's not normally an issue with the flatter sequins, but these ones were, like I said, super cupped. And that is the completion of the layout, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you for spending time on my channel today, and don't forget to check out everyone else who is playing along. That playlist is down below as well. And I will be back hopefully again with another video tomorrow, and I will see you then. Have a great day, take care, and come back tomorrow. Bye-bye.